There's a rule at your job no one told you, but everyone is following. And the moment you break it, everything changes. The room gets quiet when you speak, your ideas stop landing. People who used to support you suddenly need more context. You think it's performance, you think it's communication, you think you need to improve your delivery. You don't. You violated a rule that was never written down, and now the system is correcting you. You've seen it before. Someone less skilled says the same thing you said and gets praised. Someone shows up late, underdelivers, still gets protected. Meanwhile, you do everything right, and still something feels off. That's not confusion, that's awareness trying to wake you up. Because this isn't a workplace, it's a social system with invisible rules. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. The real question is, how many times have you been punished for breaking rules nobody explained?
You're in a meeting. You prepared. You did the work. You actually understand the problem better than most people in that room. So you speak. Clear, direct, efficient. And then it happens. A pause. A shift in energy. Someone higher up rephrases your exact point, and suddenly it's insightful. They get the nods, they get the follow-ups, they get the credit. Then you sit there thinking, what just happened? Later, your manager pulls you aside, says you need to work on visibility or build stronger relationships, which sounds helpful until you realize it explains nothing. Because you were visible, you spoke, you delivered, you showed up. So what are they really saying? They're telling you, without saying it, that you don't understand the real game. And they won't explain it, because the moment they explain it, it stops working. This is where most professionals get stuck. They double down on effort, they take more courses, they refine their communication, but the results don't change, because effort isn't the currency here. Perception is. And perception is controlled by rules nobody writes down. Let's break the rule open. Not the fake one they tell you, the real one they follow. First, tone over truth. In corporate spaces, especially when you don't fit the default, tone becomes your leash. You can be right and still lose, because how you say something matters more than what you say. Too direct, you're aggressive. Too calm, you're not engaged. Too confident, you're intimidating. Meanwhile, someone else says less with the right tone and gets rewarded. That's not feedback, that's control. They're not correcting your communication, they're shaping how you're allowed to exist in that space. Second, timing over talent. You think speaking up anytime is a good thing. It's not. There are moments when you're expected to speak, and moments when you're expected to wait. If you speak too early, you disrupt hierarchy. If you speak too late, you look passive. The people winning this game aren't smarter. They're watching the room. They're reading power. They know when the decision is already made, and they align with it at the perfect moment. That's why it feels like they're always on point. They're not guessing. They're calculating. Third, alliances over ability. You think your work speaks for itself. It doesn't. Your work gets translated through people. And if the right people aren't backing you, your work gets minimized, delayed, or ignored. You've seen it. Someone average but well-connected rises fast. Someone excellent but isolated stays stuck. That's not unfair by accident. That's design. Because alliances protect narratives, and narratives decide who gets labeled high potential. Not your output, not your effort, your proximity to power. Fourth, perception over reality. This is the one that traps you the longest. You think if you just keep delivering, eventually they'll see you. They won't, because they're not watching everything you do. They're watching signals. Who vouches for you? How you carry yourself, how others react when you speak. That becomes your reputation, and once that reputation is set, it filters everything you do after that. Good work gets expected. Mistakes get magnified.
And suddenly, you're not being evaluated fairly anymore. You're being evaluated consistently against a narrative you didn't create. Now step back. This system isn't broken. It's working exactly how it was designed. Corporations don't reward fairness. They reward predictability. They need people they can read, people who don't disrupt the structure, people who maintain the hierarchy. That's why the rules stay unspoken, because written rules can be challenged. Unwritten rules can't. And for Black professionals, this hits differently, because you're already being read before you speak. Your tone gets judged faster. Your confidence gets interpreted differently. Your mistakes get remembered longer. So the margin for error shrinks, and the pressure to adjust increases, not because you're less capable, but because the system wasn't built with you in mind. That's the part nobody says out loud. They'll talk about culture fit. They'll talk about executive presence. But those are just coded ways of saying, can you operate inside our unspoken rules without forcing us to explain them? And if you can't, you don't get corrected. You get sidelined. Slowly, quietly, professionally, until you start questioning yourself. That's the real cost. Not just missed promotions, not just lost opportunities. It's the mental toll of trying to win a game you were never taught how to play. So what do you do with this? You don't fix the system. You learn how to move inside it without losing yourself. First, start watching reactions, not words. People will tell you one thing, but their reactions tell you the truth. Who gets interrupted? Who gets affirmed? Who gets repeated and credited? That's the real hierarchy. Once you see it, you stop guessing. Second, control your timing. Stop speaking just to contribute. Speak when it shifts something. Let others go first. Read the direction of the room. Then position your point where it aligns with power, not against it. That's how you get heard without fighting the room. Third, build quiet alliances. Not fake networking, not forced conversations. Real alignment. Find the people who influence decisions. Make your work visible to them. Because once the right person backs you, the same voice that was ignored becomes respected. Fourth, manage perception deliberately. Not by pretending, by understanding what's being projected. You don't need to change who you are, but you do need to understand how you're being read and adjust strategically, not emotionally, because perception is happening whether you control it or not. The silent rule isn't about working harder. It's about understanding how power actually moves. And once you see it, you stop blaming yourself for a system that was never transparent. You stop overworking for recognition that was never coming. And you start moving with intention. Because the truth is simple. In corporate spaces, the people who win aren't the most qualified. They're the most aware. If nobody ever told you this, share it with someone who needs to hear it.